لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله قد يقام لها اللهم صل على الحبيب سيدي مولاي سيدي طه ياسين فاتح الجنة لا إله إلا الله سادتي يا رسول الله لا إله إلا 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 الله يملأنا ويملأكم يملأنا ويملأكم يملأنا يوم علينا يملأنا ويملأكم لا إله إلا الله 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 محمد رسول الله
Welcome, everybody. I was just asked by a worship coordinator here who has laryngitis today to take her place and welcome everybody here today for this afternoon of sharing. I'd like to welcome Shaykh Hisham Kabbani and all of you here. I'm very happy to be able to participate in this little hour of sharing of all of our faiths. We all have come at our faith from a different angle. It's beautiful to get together and share in this really truly multicultural setting. And I'm going to let member of your community have a introduce the teacher. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Don't introduce me. I will introduce him. Dr. William Sperling, American citizen and youth. He likes to speak about sort of the mysticism in Islam, mysticism.
Shows that you're here to hear Shaykh Hisham's. I'll introduce him. Shaykh Hisham is...
Speak up, please.
Yeah, Shaykh Hisham originates from Lebanon, and at the age of about 11, he met his Shaykh and the Shaykh of the various followers you see here, Shaykh Muhammad Nazim al-Qubrisi from Cyprus, who in turn was with his Shaykh, Shaykh Abdullah from Pakistan. Shaykh Hisham and his brother spent many, many years from the age of 11 with the two Shaykhs, Shaykh Nazim and Shaykh Abdullah, traveling from Lebanon to Damascus, back and forth, back and forth. And Shaykh Nazim and his Shaykh were in Damascus at the time. And to this day, Shaykh Hisham spends much time with Shaykh Nazim and is in continual contact with him. the death of Sheikh Abdullah in 1974, Sheikh Nazim had the direction and inspiration in the mid-70s to bring the Naqshbandi Tariqat, or the Naqshbandi Sufi order, to the West and traveled to London and began to attract a following of Europeans as well as followers from all around the world, literally just about every country you could think of. And has continued to do this work since the mid-70s, with traveling in the West, living in Cyprus, traveling to the Far East, and several years ago, when the opportunity presented itself, by law, just fortuitously, Shaykh Hisham's name was sort of picked out of a hat of 40 million people waiting to emigrate to this country, and was given a visa to come here, so Shaykh said go. And at that point, he had been assigned by Shaykh Nazim as his representative in this country to impart the Sufi teachings of the Naqshbandi Tariqat, the way of Islam, to all those who are interested, and to generally spread goodwill and education and communicate with both Muslims and non-Muslims alike in wherever he was traveling, which has been mostly in America, but also in Canada, and in other travels in Europe as well. As I said, he spent many years with Shaykh Nazim. He also comes from a rather distinguished family of Muslim scholars and with Sufi affiliations in Lebanon. His uncle was a very famous, one-time Mufti of Lebanon, a very famous scholar, so that he had been trained both in, you might say, the exoteric or the outward aspects of Islam as well as the inward dimensions of Sufi. In addition, he's had medical training in Europe, and probably other things I don't know. He's and a very, very nice, humble man, very approachable.
I would like to just turn it over to him at this point.
Sorry for that. Thank you. I was told that the topic is Sufi mysticism. And I guess I'll just make a couple of points and Shaykh Hisham can either elaborate on them or ignore them. Correct them, perhaps, and do what he wants with them. Well, one point I think that I would begin with, and it's really where we begin, is we begin with what is the fundamental affirmation of any Muslim, which is La ilaha illallah. There is no reality, no God but Allah, but the one God. And Muhammad al-Rasulullah, Muhammad is his messenger. And this is the basic affirmation which is the fundamentally makes one a Muslim, the belief and affirmation of this. And is also the beginning and end of the Sufi path when taken in all its depth. The path, basically, the spiritual path as the Sufi sees it, is one of coming to realize and perceive in one's everyday world the reality of La ilaha illallah, that nothing has any real existence other than Allah. So it's, in a way, a continual process of no, 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 with one ultimate yes. This is at first words, at first an idea, and through travel along the spiritual path, this becomes, God willing, the reality that one perceives. The second aspect of the affirmation, Muhammad Rasulullah, Muhammad is the messenger, is also sort of essential to our path in the sense that Muhammad is the ultimate prototype of the mystic journey, of the mystic experience, the ultimate exemplar of its perfection, and also ultimately the guide of those who travel the path. From the beginning of his becoming of the message descending upon him at the age of 40, when he was in retreat in a cave near Mecca, the archetype of the meeting with the heavenly being of light, in this case the Archangel Gabriel, who was straddling the horizon as far as the prophet could see, and saying to him to read. He says, I can't read. Literally. Read. Recite in the name of your Lord, who created man from a clot, and taught him by the pen, taught him what he knows not. And with that beginning, for the next 23 years, these visitations from the Archangel were regular, although not predictable, intermittent. But how many visitations? 10,000, 12,000 visitations over the course of 23 years. And in this sense, is the prototype of the living in another reality other than the common reality. The reality of both inner and outer. Can you hear? No. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe that's better. And this contact reached, in one sense, a culmination in what's known as the night journey. After about 7 or 8 years of the revelations coming, the revelation of the Quran coming, the Prophet was taken first in the heavenly flight to Jerusalem, where he led prayer, followed by all the other prophets, Jesus, Abraham, Moses, and then ascended through the 7 heavens, and then had 10,000 or 12,000 conversations with God himself. And this is again, you might say, the ultimate prototype of any kind of mystical or inner spiritual experience. So, I guess the point I'm making is that fundamental to the whole history, and I mean this is common. This isn't a mystical biography of the Prophet. This is the same biography you would hear from any Muslim on the street. Fundamental to Islam in its most basic sense is a mystical element that can't be denied. Is there, and the Sufis, of course, have taken this as a model in the sense that one of the earliest Sufis says no one can really be called a Muslim until the Quran has been revealed to him the way it was revealed to Muhammad. This, of course, is the ultimate extreme of how you define what the religion was about, but it's certainly, let's say, the highest definition of the imitation of Muhammad, in the sense that you find in Christian mysticism various levels of understanding of what it means to follow Christ, and the imitation of Christ. The one other thing I guess I would say in regard to the Sufi path, and this is just an introduction to what Shaykh Hisham may elaborate on. The Sufis talk about the path to Allah, the path to God, the path with Allah, and the path in Allah, as the 3 gradations or parts of the spiritual journey. And in this regard, there's what's called a holy hadith, or saying of the Prophet. And this is actually saying from God himself through the Prophet. It's not part of the Quran, but it's the next holiest utterance of the Prophet after the Quran, in which God says that my worshiper approaches me by voluntary worship, that is over and above what may be required in the religion. Voluntary worship, voluntary prayers, fasting, good deeds of every sort. This is the means of approach. So this is the fundamental aspect of the way of approach to God. Until I love him, and this sort of would mark the beginning of the journey with God. And when I love him, I become the ears with which he hears, and the eyes with which he sees, and the tongue with which he speaks, and the hands with which he grasps, and the feet with which he walks. And then this gives way to, I guess, what might be called journey in Allah, which is, again, these latter stages are mysteries that are you can talk about, but I mean, the meaning of which is only known to somebody who experienced them. Until he becomes lordly and said, and can say to something be, and it is. And this is the sort of the quintessential description of Allah's power, of creation, that he says be and it is. And this is the hadith, this is the tradition. The part that we can most easily talk about, perhaps, is the journey to Allah, because it involves things that we can do in the way of approach. Approach, of course, is just relative. He is always God is with everyone. But the spiritual journey and the approach has to do with our perception and our state of consciousness, from one of blindness, where at best all we can do is remember him, and remember that he sees us even if we do not see him, until we progress to the parts of the path where we are actually perceiving something of his existence or of his being as he permits. And with this, I'll turn it over to Shaykh Hisham to say whatever he wants, to ignore it or encourage it. Thank you.
You want me to stand up or to sit? I said for me is better. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم دستور يا سيدي هشام محمد ناظم الحقاني مدد. First, I would like to thank our brothers and sisters in Ghost Ranch, especially the president, that he made this gathering to be today. And I thank you all that you are attending our speech, which is not, we will try not to be a speech, but to be an advice. Because we are not lecturers, and we are hiding ourselves not to be lecturers. We are trying to advise ourselves, and anyone who likes to listen, we are happy that some people are listening to us and getting some benefit. I saw my master, my Shaykh. His age now is around 75 years. Since the long journey that I had with him, 35 years, he is trying to hide himself and try to be as low as possible in humbleness, because this is the only way to bring a human being to reality. Reality that everyone is seeking and trying to reach is a long journey, might be one glance with God. Might be 1 second you reach the highest level of perfections, which means the highest level of realities. Might be will take you long life, your long time to reach that. This depends on how much demand is in your heart. Because spiritual ways are so special and so valuable. Spiritual ways are not something that we can express through talks or teachings. Spiritual ways are things that they have to be experienced to accompany someone to learn from him. When Jesus came, his students, we call them in Arabic Hawariyun, disciples, they accompanied him. By accompanying him, they learn from him. Without accompanying, it's very difficult to learn. It's impossible to learn through lectures and through books. Don't go back to books. It doesn't give you any benefit. It gives you knowledge only, but doesn't give spirituality. Spirituality needs people that they are highly advanced in spiritual life, that they can reflect the light which is in their heart to your heart. This is everything in spirituality, reflection of realities from one heart to another. That is spirituality. That is the, you say mysticism, that is the mystic in Sufism. Every religion, there is something hidden. God is the creator, and we are his servants. But we are not only his servants, we are his beloved ones. We are human beings. We are hiding the highest creation that on this earth. I am not speaking on other universes. Don't think this is the only universe. When spirituality opens to the heart, you can find many universes around you, where you will find God there, where you will find Moses there, where you will find Jesus there, where you will find Prophet Muhammad there. There is many other living beings, spiritual beings, that they are living, that there is connection between us and them through spiritualities. So these realities and these facts cannot be found in a book. This only related to heart. So if anyone opens his heart, he is going to find that way. Because God is not a discriminator. God will open. Ask, he will show you. Don't ask, you'll never find anything. You have to ask. And you have to ask continuously. Not only asking one time and leaving it for next week or after 1 month or from 1 year to 1 year you come to go strange to be enlightened with spirituality. You have to come every time. When there is a seminar, you have to come. This is because for sake of God. You are not coming here for sake to know something. You are coming here for sake of God to approach him. If you approach him, he approaches you. But if you are coming for knowledge only, not to approach, means this you are going to still be far away. Mysticism is a big line that is through all religion. Don't think there is one religion that there is no mysticism in it. all religions, they are based on spirituality, because God cannot be seen. If God is not seen, means that this is spirituality. So something you are not seeing means there is hidden from you, means you need some kind of special vision to see. And that special vision will be granted, but come to Him. Through any way you like to come. We are the Sufi people accepting any way a person try to follow. You want to follow Judaism? Follow. Because they are saying God is there. Follow, you find. You want to follow Christianity? Very good. Follow. God is there. You want to follow Islam? Follow. Because God is there. But the ways change. From one way to another way. It doesn't mean that God changed. God is the same. If we change the name, never mind. Might be a mistake from us because we are not perfect. But for God, it's the same. Is God of Jews different from God of Christians? And God of Christians different from God of Muslims? Different from gods of Buddhists and gods of Hindus and gods of Native Indian American? Must be all the same. So the only thing that is changed is the form, how we are approaching. But the essence is the same. And that's why in spirituality there is no difference. And that's why Sufi people, they don't find differences in religion. They accept all kinds of religions. Because Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, I am accepting and believing in Jesus. I am a real Christian. And he said, I am accepting and believing Moses, I am a real Jew. If someone is saying like that, where is then the difference? The difference on the way we are approaching. But is no difference in the spirituality, in the hidden side. And that hidden side is not open for everyone. And that's why we say, that one is Jew, that one is Christian, that one is Muslim. They are not acceptable between each other. We have made it not acceptable. God created us equal. We are all human beings. If the form changes, but the essence doesn't change. So, why then there is differences if the spirituality ever changes, if this hidden side not change? There are fanatic Jews. There are fanatic Christians. There are fanatic Muslims. Is it not true? It's true. And that's why, since I am a Muslim, moderate Muslim, that accept through Sufism all religion, if I say something up in Abiquiu, where there are some people that they are extremist Muslim, they might come against me in beliefs, as there are some also extremists in Christianity, and there are some extremists in Judaism. So everyone in his religion, there are some people strict, but if they know and understand the spirituality, the real essence of the hidden side, then no one is going to be an extremist in all religions. Because all of them, they show you one way. There is only one place your aim is, the last target is that target, which is God. There is nothing else. Because all of you here are believers in God, that you are not denying God. If some people are denying God, then the advice must be different way. But all of you are accepting God, and that's why our aim is God. So in spirituality there is no differences, and that's why Sufi masters
coming from 1400 years ago with a link from one teacher to another in our way, which is the Naqshbandi Tariqah. There are 40 masters. That one who passed away, he gave the secret, he passed the secret to his successor, and his successor to his successor, and his successor to his successor, till our days they are 40. 40 in line. We have 40 in line, I think, in that pamphlet which they have distributed to you. You can find it in second or third page. Their names from 1400 years till today, there is a link, a connection of 40 saints that they are bringing that spirituality to us. And that's why when Gurdjieff, some people, they believe and they like his way, because I was asked this question today, I will mention. One time he came in the 40s to visit our grandmaster, Shaykh Abdullah al-Darastani, may Allah bless his soul. He passed away in 1973. We cannot say he passed away in spirituality, but we say he veiled himself. Yes. In spirituality there is no passing away. As Jesus veiled himself. Also prophets, they veil themselves. And saints, they are veiling themselves. You think he passed away. But those who can speak, as he brought that, before that saying, that tradition, that if my servant approaches me through voluntarily worshipness, I will love them. So first step in Sufism and spirituality is love. If there is no love, there is no spirituality. If there is no love, there is no marriage between men and a woman and men. If there is no love, there is no families, there is no generations. Love is basic. We have to love each other and be peaceful with each other. Even though we change the form of the ways we are following, but the inner side is the same. So love is basic. When God loves us through things and good manners that we are showing Him, you will be His ears, our ears that we can hear with. He will be our eyes. He will be our tongue. He will be our hand. He will be our feet that we can walk. And you are going to be godly. And when you are going to be godly, saying to something be and it will be, then you can see that saint who passed away didn't pass away. And that's why when the disciples of Jesus saw him, they knew that he is going to be raised up to heavens. And this is our belief as Muslims, that he is coming and we are waiting. And there is connection between this golden chain, which the 40 saints that I mentioned, from 1400 years ago till today, there is the last saint nowadays. He has connection spiritually with Jesus and being informed. And many saints in Christianity, they are waiting for Jesus to come because we are in the last days. Don't think there is too much to go. Don't think we are going to build houses for 100 years more. No. So if you have a mortgage, quickly run away. So this life, God didn't create this life to keep us here and to suffer. God is wanting from us to find our spirituality, our reality. And that's why when a saint wants to know a reality of a person, he looks in the stars. Every human being, according to what Sufism says, and it is a reality, it's not an idea, we are reflections of our realities. We are images here. This is an image which you are living in, is an image like you are looking in a mirror. The realities are up with God, never leaving His presence, His divine presence. And that's why they are calling us, come join us, connect with us. We are reflections here. And this is a big reality, why Jesus is coming, and we are waiting. As Muslims, we are waiting for him. Don't think we are not waiting? We are waiting, and he is going to be supported by heavens to show the real religion that everyone must follow. The real path that everyone must follow. The real spirituality that everyone must follow, that it is here. So we come back in the 40s. Gorget came and met with our master, may Allah bless his soul. And I said, passed away, and I correct myself that he veiled himself. He gave him the Enneagram secret, but he told him not to use it, because this is not to be used. And this is a 9 points in the, you see this, the chest. Every point represents one saint. So if you can know the names of these saints, you can join all these points together. As today you go to get money from ATM, you have to put a secret code there. So you have to put the secret names there, then this will work quickly. Then you can do through that energy that supports you whatever cannot be done by ordinary human beings. But there is no permission to use these powers nowadays, because all saints are very shy to use these powers, because the one who is going to use these powers is that one which we are waiting, Mahdi alayhi salam, the man of power, and Jesus who is coming. Both of them, they are coming together. If you open the Bible, you are going to find in the New Testament that there will be someone coming in the last days, men of sword. That man is coming, is going to be supported by Jesus in order to show that spirituality which is hidden.